I love that comment because it used to confuse me a lot. A lot of coaches would say you either have it or you don't. You either are the person who's receiving it or the person who has, but you can't be both. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because you can be aware of its physical unfolding without identifying with it, right? So if I give you an example, if you scratch a ticket, you play the lottery and you win $10 million, you're like, oh, yay, I won. At that moment, you're jumping up and down. You don't see the millions, but you're jumping up and down and you call yourself a millionaire. You identify as a millionaire. So now you might call a financial advisor because you say you're a millionaire. You might call a lawyer because you identify as a millionaire. You might also, if you want, look for properties to buy because you know you're a millionaire. And those action comes from the identity that you selected, which is being a millionaire. It's not actions that you're taking to become a millionaire, to make something happen. You don't take actions to make something happen. You take actions from the identity of it's already done, right? And I know a lot of people would be like, for other examples, like, oh, I have a hard time to say that I'm with SP because if I was with SP, well, I'll be able to call them right now and stuff like that. But you don't let the physical limitation tell you who you are. Like in this example of the person who won, like you won 10 million. You're not gonna be like, well, since I can't physically buy those properties that I'm looking at, then I guess I'm not a millionaire. You're not gonna say that. You know you're a millionaire, it's just for the money to come in. So you are aware of the physical unfolding, but you already know you're a millionaire. So it's the same thing for every example. I think this is one of the best example because it shows how you can be this person who has and also be the person who's receiving. And the difference between this example and reality creation, reality selection, is that the confirmation comes from within. It doesn't come from a ticket or someone telling you from the 3D. It doesn't come from the 3D, it comes from you. I don't know if you heard this woman, I think it was this year or last week or last year. I don't know. She actually won, I think, a few millions at the casino. She took a picture next to the screen and like, yeah, I won. And then the casino said, I think the next day, oh, it malfunctioned. Actually, here's $25. You didn't win. Could you imagine? But she had proof. She had physical proof that she won. She took a picture. Turns out they said no. So the 3D is never the confirmation. You are. You decide. You select who you are, and then you let the 3D unfold. I have another example real quick because I forgot to talk about that example. The three kings in the Bible, I don't remember the exact name of character, but there was someone, like, let's say a magician, a shaman, okay, that was in the desert, and then the three kings were like, oh, what can we do because there's no rain, and our people are thirsty, they're gonna die. And then the shaman said, well, dig the ditches, okay, you shall not see clouds, shall not feel the wind, you shall not see rains. I'm paraphrasing here, but dig the ditches because it's gonna come. So everybody start to dig the ditches, but the sky was blue. There was no clouds. But they're like, you know what? I'm gonna dig the ditches because it's gonna rain. And it rained. But why is it gonna rain? It's because it already rained here. It comes here first and physical second. But you do not create that as there's no separation. You just understand how it works, but you're not focused on the unfolding, because it's true that it can be a trap if you start to be focused on the unfolding. Like, okay, I'm digging the ditches, but I don't know, I don't see the rain. Or maybe I'm in the middle. You're no longer this person who knows, oh yeah, it's going to rain, because it already did within. So that's my take on this. You can be the person who has it and also be the person who's receiving, because you're also aware of its physical unfolding. You just don't identify with the unfolding, because this is when, if things don't necessarily go the things you thought they were going to go, and then you're going to be like, oh, wait, what's happening? Why? And we all have an initial reaction to things that we don't necessarily like, but then what's the end? The end is I have it.